Hey, what's up everybody? This is Hailstorm, and Hailstorm is a percussion sequencer that uses an internal drum synth engine as well as user samples. So in this video, we're going to quickly go over some features and hear what it sounds like. So starting off with the hardware, at the top here we have a MIDI in and out. This is on TRS-A standard on 1/8" cables. We also have a sync in and out. This is an analog clock sync that can be used with Volcas, pocket operators, or pretty much any analog clock source. USB is used for power and MIDI in and out. And finally, we have a stereo line output. So we'll play a sequence and go over the knobs. The mix knob mixes between the synthesized drum sounds on the left and the user samples here on the right. The decay is a global decay for all the sounds. The reverb is sort of a macro, one knob size and mix. And then we just have global volume. The buttons at the bottom are mutes for the individual voices. And the individual voices are played on these touch strips. This is how you will mainly interact with Hailstorm. As you can hear, as I'm sliding my finger up and down on this clap, that will trigger more frequently. So quickly, we're going to clear out this clap. We hit the clear, and then we just touch the strip we want to clear. And now we're going to re-record a clap pattern. There we go. So now that we have a pattern, we're going to change the tempo. You do that by holding down mode, and you use these minus, plus, divide, and multiply touchpads. So here we're slowing it down with the minus, speeding it up. Then we can multiply it by 2, or divide by 2. And the multiply and divide will just provide a faster way to change the tempo. All right, let's get into the modes. You hold down mode. Right now we're in trigger mode, where you actually add steps. We change to level mode, and this is just the individual volumes for the 4 different voices. We can go ahead and record some volume automation for the hi-hat here. And maybe a little bit for the snare as well. Now we're going to move on to pitch mode. where you can use the sliders to change the pitch of the sound. Here we're recording a little pitch automation for the hi-hat sound, and also some changes to the pitch of the snare sound. And finally, a little to the clap as well. Alright, now we're moving to decay mode and recording a bit of automation again to the hi-hat sound, and then to everything. And say we didn't like that, we can go into clear mode and just swipe our finger across all strips to clear that automation. And next we're going to move on to shuffle mode. And shuffle mode is not swing. You almost just need to hear what it does. We're going to apply a little bit to the hi-hat. And it does sort of this off-grid rearranging of the patterns. Then at the very bottom is no shuffle. And our last mode is the global effects mode. And these are not individual for each voice, but they are 4 different effects. So the first slider is a beat repeat. The second is a global pitch. And the very bottom square is a reverse. Slider number 3 is a low-pass filter with a little bit of resonance. And slider number 4 is a granular delay line. It's kind of a really tight delay line with a lot of feedback. And of course, my favorite thing to do is to combine all of these effects in different patterns. Here we're recording some automation of all this. So yeah, you can really mangle a pattern. So now we will go over loading patterns and sequences. When you're in load mode, the left 2 green columns are patterns, and the right 2 teal columns are sample banks. So these are all blank patterns right now. We hit that bottom one, and we hear the pattern. We only have 1 pattern loaded. Then here on the right-hand side, we're switching between all these 12 different sample banks. All samples are loaded at startup, so these are already in memory and can be loaded instantly. Let's go ahead and clear off these effects. You can kind of hear those loading a little better when we don't have a bunch of effects mangling everything. So because we only have 1 pattern, let's go ahead and go into copy, select that pattern, and then select a destination. And now we have copied that pattern and we have 2 of the same. So now that we have 2 patterns, let's go ahead and chain these together. And to do that, while you're in load mode, you hit record. You see the LEDs blink in sequence at the bottom. Then we select one and then the other. You can also select the same pattern multiple times, and you can also select blank patterns to insert blank sections into your chain. So now that we have 2 patterns chained together, we can play them and just record whatever changes we want over the top of both of them. So yeah, chaining together multiple patterns and then recording like this is a great way to get variation on longer patterns. Recording a little shuffle here. So now that we have 2 patterns chained together, we can also chain the changing of sample banks. And these are independent. So we're back in chain mode. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3. So our pattern chain length is 2, and our sample bank chain length is 3. So these will go in and out of phase with each other. So you can chain up to 16 patterns and 16 sample banks. So now let's clear those chains. In order to do that, we are in load mode. we hit record to enter chain mode, and then we just hit the clear button. And now the sample banks and the patterns are no longer chained. All right, let's finish up by rechaining a couple of the patterns together, 1 and 2, and then we'll just go ahead and play them out and jam on some automation over the top. Start off by recording some effects. Do some decay automation. Record some automation between the internal drum sounds and the samples. Some pitch. Record in a little reverb swell. Let's swap in some different sample banks. So that is Hailstorm. Obviously, more information is available in the user manual. And thank you guys for watching the video. If you choose to purchase a Hailstorm, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Okay, bye for now.